I've got a simple but deeply satisfying client story to share with you. One with a happy ending. As with most of my stories, there's a financial lesson wrapped inside of it. But this financial lesson is so basic, you've probably grown up hearing it. Save before you spend. My client Deepak was born and raised in Dubai. After he finished school, he joined a leading airline company here as an intern. Over the next 20 years, he served the organization, making his way up the organizational chart, one step at a time. Over the years, he continued to pursue his education through the company too. He graduated while he was still at the airline and then managed to land himself a high-paying job in HR management for teams across the airport. As with most high-paying jobs, it was also a high-pressure job. When I first met Deepak, he expressed a clear financial goal to me. He wanted to retire by the time he was 40 or 45. My first thought to that was, easier said than done. A lot of people want to retire by 45, but don't realize that with increasing life expectancy, it's becoming easy to outlive your money. With the rising costs of living, advances in medical technology, and other healthcare expenses, living longer is getting easier but more expensive. I explained to Deepak that his goals meant that he had to save aggressively, but I also wanted to prepare him for the possibility that he might be working past the age of 45. Deepak absorbed that and told me that he had two financial goals he wanted to accomplish. Goal number one. By the time he was 35, he wanted to save $250,000 each for two of his children and put that money in a safe investment pocket so that it would grow until they turned 18 and support their education expenses. Goal number two. He wanted to buy a house on a full upfront payment and have an additional $1.5 million to $2 million in cash by retirement at the age of 45 so that he and his wife could have a secure, comfortable base and freedom from the pressures of employment. Both Deepak and his wife were focused, great at their jobs, and soon making their way up the corporate ladder. But even as their income grew, the family didn't make any significant changes to their lifestyle, and it paid off. By the age of 42, Deepak hit all his financial goals. The education funds for both the kids were in place and growing. Deepak and his wife relocated to Canada, bought their dream home, and paid it down entirely upon purchase. Before the move, Deepak liquidated all their UAE assets and moved with $2 million in cash, money that he now invests and manages. The returns meet the family's income requirements. The biggest element of their financial plan was discipline. This kind of success outwardly seems like a lottery ticket. That's because it's so hard for most of us to develop the financial discipline to put away that chunk as soon as the money hits the account. Deepak's attitude right from the start has always been that he would work extremely hard, live modestly, and save aggressively. I saw them through all those phases, from a modest $2,000 per month all the way up to $70,000 per month income that they collectively drew in towards the end of their tenure in Dubai. Through it all, they made it a non-negotiable commitment to save 70% of their income. The couple probably came across as tight-fisted to the people around them, but they knew they were right on track. Everything was planned towards their greater goal. Life for Deepak today looks great. His idea of retirement wasn't sitting back and relaxing with an umbrella-topped drink. What he wanted was true financial freedom. He wanted to do meaningful, fulfilling work without the pressures of paying bills and sustaining day-to-day existence from that work. So after he moved to Canada, he took a year-long hiatus to settle the family down into their new lives. His wife got a job in the financial sector there when she was ready, and Deepak went on to structure and set up a consultancy business. The business is doing great and operates across 3 countries now. He can make sound long-term business decisions because he has no short-term financial or income pressures. Deepak was my client all the way through until he retired and moved to Canada. He has now exited all his UAE-based contracts and reinvested in assets in Canada for tax benefits. It gives me pride and joy to see how things worked out for him. Although he is no longer a client, he remains someone I will always share as an example and a success story when I want to talk about what great financial discipline can do for your future. No matter where you are, start today. Make the commitments you need to make towards securing the future you want.